What is up, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the Garena League of Legends Varsity League 2017 Summer Term, powered by Lenovo, Light the Sky. But before we get into quite the juicy matchup that we have today, we'll be introducing you us rather, as your casters for this match. I'm Arctic at your service, fam, and of course, with me is Neep. And of course, this will be a game between AMA University versus University of the Philippines, Diliman.
Yeah, and I mean, this is going to be a pretty exciting matchup. Both teams are roughly equal in standings, if I recall correctly. And I think it's going to be interesting to see how this new UP Diliman roster performs. Of course, they were the champions of last year's LCL, but it's a completely different roster this time around. So let's see if they're going to be able to go up against AMA, who've shown some potential, that senior high school potential, but at the same time, they've shown some shakiness here and there. But will it be AMA stepping up, or will it be the new guys from UPD stepping up? So it's a battle of like two newbies, I guess.
True.
Yeah.
But still, let's go ahead and check out the updated standings, though, because as we did see earlier during the first matchup, finally, FEU Institute of Technology, out of their slump earlier, were at the bottom, slowly climbing to the top. Whether or not that translates to making the playoffs, that's yet to be seen. But at least they're sitting comfortably now at a 2-4. Amidst everything, though, MCL, unfortunately, finding themselves a little bit on the lower brackets, now having lost 2 games against FEU Institute of Technology, iTamaraos.
Yeah, so let's see how this game turns out, as it's going to be pretty important for the standings of both of these teams. Every single game counts, and I'm wondering what these teams are going to pull out. I'm looking, my eyes are on AMA Relapse. I think he has a lot of potential as an AD carry, and I wonder how it's going to bear against the bot lane of UPD.
Yeah, I gotta say, I've been pleasantly surprised with how AMA University has been playing these past 2 weeks. If anything, I'd probably consider them one of my top teams on the list, but again, it's yet to be seen. I'm interested in seeing how they will fare against UP Diliman in this game. But let's go ahead and check out our player lineups coming in from both teams respectively, as they will be fielded out. I believe that since this has been your alma mater, I'll let you run this down, Neep.
Alright, so for the top lane, we have Nona. In the jungle, we have that veteran Veer. In the mid lane, we have Solus. And for that bottom lane duo, we have Yochan as the AD carry and Alto as the support, being coached by Red Mayhem Bartolome.
And I'll run down what was one of my own alma maters at AMA University. In the top lane, we have Falcata. In jungle, we have Zhao. In the mid lane, we have Nieve. On ADC is Relapse. And of course, for support is Ken Cross with my boy, Coach JP Yin Abelia on their staff.
Yeah, so let's see how these rosters fare against each other as we head into the pick and ban. Let's see what exactly you're going to ban out. You see UP Diliman going immediately for that Graves ban. So an interesting ban, but I guess maybe they've been doing their researches.
True.
Possibly Zal really likes that champion.
Let's go ahead and see. Looks like Elise going to be banned out from Veer. We have seen how powerful Veer was on that, at least boosting the new Super Galaxy skin, but looks like that we won't be seeing any Elise any particular time soon for this game one. Meanwhile, Cho'Gath will be taken away from the board of AMA, as well as the Strana from Yochan. Ezreal, the flexible between jungle and ADC, will be denied from AMA. And finally, Alessandra banned out from Solus.
That should be the first pick Ornn available for UP Diliman, so I'm very confident that they will take this right now, as Ornn is probably the best champion you can take, given your first pick.
Let's go ahead and see if
they go for that Ornn for the Nona. There's not really that many champions you can pick into the Ornn. I think Maokai is an option if you want to go for that even matchup. You could go for something like a Gnar possibly. But let's see how AMA responds to this Ornn pickup.
Let's go ahead and see. Looks like that will indeed be a lock-in for Nona. We're waiting for those first 2 picks coming in from AMA University. Retaliate. Interesting. Let's go ahead and see what will be up their sleeve as far as priority. Looks like it will potentially be the Janna pick for Ken Cross, along with the Rek'Sai for Zhao. That is somewhat, I kind of agree, a lot of knockups coming up, that's for sure.
The Janna kind of conveys what AMA is trying to do. They're looking to set up for a nice hyper carry, AD carry, looking for the nice disengagement peel, and that Janna does provide that. Meanwhile, Rek'Sai taking a jungler away from that pool. But that does leave UP Diliman with that Jarvan pickup, a really strong jungler, as well as the Braum. So going for a very safe bot lane, not really revealing any of their carries just yet. But let's see how AMA decides to finish up their first half of the draft, and it will be the Gnar versus the Ornn in that top lane. So Gnar does have potential to do well against this Ornn, and probably one of the matchups where Ornn doesn't really completely steamroll the opponent.
Right. Meanwhile, let's go ahead with our first rotation of pick and ban having been finished up for UPD and AMA. We're heading into the second rotation of bans. Looks like that will be the Twitch taken away from Yochan here. UPD Diliman will be responding with a Z ban. We have seen how Niebe, quite the powerful Z player, has flexed a few muscles within the previous weeks, and the Oriana and Vladimir will be taken away from both Souls and Niebe respectively.
Yeah, so we are both waiting on the AD carry and mid lane picks for both of these teams. So let's take a look and see what they decide to go. They will go for the blind Fizz pick. Interesting pickup by AMA. And let's see how UP Diliman decides to respond in return.
Indeed.
They need to pick up their AD carry and their mid laner. And it will be the Syndra lock-in. So traditionally, Fizz is the counter pick to Syndra. You can avoid a lot of the damage from the ultimate from Syndra, and you can also really get into Syndra's face with that Urgent Strike, but it looks like it's Solus being confident in this matchup, and they're going to complete that roster with a pretty safe AD carry pick, the Sivir. So the sustained DPS, you also have On the Hunt to help with the engage, given that you do have that Braum, Jarvan, and the Ornn very tanky front line.
Yeah, interesting though here for Solus. I mean, knowing that he will have a little bit of a trickier time with the Trickster here in the mid lane for Niebe. I'm wondering how that will ultimately pan out for him though, but looks like we do have both compositions locked in here for both sides. We'll just have to see how that ultimately kind of rolls down as we head into the game in just a bit.
Yeah, and it will be the Vayne as the final pick for AMA, so putting a lot of their eggs onto Relapse to carry. We did see that preemptively revealed with that Janna pickup, so they did indeed settle for that hyper AD carry, and Vayne and Sivir is actually pretty good for this Vayne. So let's see if they're able to really capitalize on this. My eyes are on this bottom lane, and whether or not Relapse can really make work of, show off his mechanics and make work of this UP roster, as Vayne is a really strong hyper carry, Relapse is a really good AD carry player, and yeah, I'm just really looking forward to see how this matches up. Same thing with the mid lane. Niebe and Solus is another interesting matchup, as Fizz should come out on top if played correctly. Same thing with the top lane. It's going to be very interesting to see how Nona and Falsada play against each other, as the Ornn, probably the strongest champion in the meta right now, going off against the Gnar.
So we'll just have to see how that goes down. Once again, we're heading into the Rift for match 2 of Game 1. Between University of the Philippines Diliman Oblation Esports versus AMA University Quezon City Retaliate. Man, oh man. By the way, shout out of course to all our peeps at AMA University right now. We're actually streaming live at their campus, so a little bit of school pride right there. Hashtag AMA.
Yeah, I believe it's their foundation day, so shout out to their foundation day. And let's see if AMA will come out on top and take the victory, or will it be Oblation Esports? Right off the bat, we do see fairly standard starts coming in from both teams. It's going to be the blue start for the Rek'Sai, meanwhile red start for the Jarvan.
Yeah, so it looks like there won't be anything particularly fancy. No invades, no cheeky moves across the map for neither UPD or AMA. So chill lang tayo mga kaibigan. Looks like it will be the same start off towards the lower side of the map for both junglers of AMA and UPD respectively.
And an option is for Veer to gank this mid lane level 2. We do know that Fizz most likely won't have that E just yet, and an early level 2 gank can prove to be pretty scary if done correctly, and it looks like that is indeed what Veer is going for. Will it pay off? Will they be able to secure that flash burn or possibly the first blood? Veer is waiting on the wings. He does need to be careful. The mid lane gank has already commenced, and that will be the flash burn in that mid lane by Niebe. So a good gank coming in from Veer. Meanwhile, in that bottom lane, just some farming going down.
Yeah, a little bit of a push out here coming in from Yochan and Alto here, though. Meanwhile, things as anticipated towards this top side, a little bit more of farm. No particular action that we'll be seeing here anytime around, unless we do see a rotation coming in from both Zhao and Veer, but that's still left to be seen, to be honest.
And that flash burn was crucial for this mid lane matchup, as if Niebe still had that flash, it would have been a lot more difficult for Solus to really take control over this lane. But it looks like it's going to be Zhao looking for this mid lane gank of his own, or possibly looking to invade Veer in the jungle. Both junglers are pretty good at dueling, and this is a Rek'Sai with Electrocute, so a lot of damage available.
Yeah, meanwhile, though, I do like the proactive move coming in from Veer, forcing out a flash from Niebi, because at least that does relieve a little bit of the pressure onto Solus, dealing with these Fizz in the earlier level until such time as Flash comes back. Looks like a little bit of a squabble here between the two members of AMA and UPD respectively. Good response there coming in from Zhao, is able to force a flash from Nuna and is chunked out quite a bit there.
Yeah, that's a really good tower dive coming in from Zhao. A flash for flash, definitely worth, as we do see that Falsada now has control of this top lane. There's a huge wave in that top lane, and Nona can't really do much. Another gank from Beer in that mid lane. Niebe should be able to survive. And the flash still down by Niebe, but it's a Fizz. Pretty mobile, pretty good at escaping ganks.
Yep, pretty much. Zhao not even needed to go for a response.
We did see that Beer actually burnt his flash in the process of getting that gank in that middle lane. So definitely coming in favor of AMA right now.
Meanwhile, still, we are seeing a shove out by Yochan and Alto towards Relapse and Canfrost. But then again, I think it is somewhat understandable because this is a Sivir up against a Vayne until such time Relapse is able to really get things going as the game progresses. Meanwhile, just constant pressure coming in from both junglers, a lot of emphasis, a lot of presence here towards this mid lane thus far within these first few minutes. But still, let's go ahead and see how that will translate here, there, especially for Solus on the Syndra, in a little bit of a deficiency of a matchup. But then again, as I mentioned, good proactivity coming in from Beer.
And we might see another tower dive in this top lane. Meganar is almost available for Falsada. They do know that Nona doesn't have a flash, and this minion wave is stacking. That is a cannon wave, so lots of creeps to work with. It looks like Zhao is already looking for this gank right now, and let's see if they're going to get this first blood this early into the game.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and see. Indeed, looks like Zhao not going to make the proactive move towards top side, though. Not going to risk anything particularly. Meanwhile, Solus and Niebe will be making their retreats back to base. Will be building up on their necessary components, leading up to their first item. But then again, take note of the CS difference, though, between Solus and Niebe. 32 to 19. That's pretty substantial.
Yeah, and I think that's a given when you're coming into a melee matchup versus ranged, especially when you don't have that flash available so early into the lane. So Solus doing what's given of him and getting that mid lane advantage, but let's see if it's going to be enough, as once the Fizz hits level 6, that's a lot of kill pressure onto Solus, and he needs to be careful when that happens.
Meanwhile, bot lane continually being shoved out here by Yochan and Alto. No particular change of trends for both AD carries here. Looks like this will be a constant as junglers still, if you notice, the pressure is leaning towards this mid lane towards the next few minutes. Might be the same trend within the later parts here, but definitely a lot that both sides have to deal with, because these junglers have been quite a bit on point, have been showing a lot of presence across lanes here, more so towards top and mid, but still nothing that particularly leans towards the first blood just yet. There's a lot more caution now in comparison to the past few weeks of the LVL. And like you mentioned, with the weeks that have gone by with this preseason, there's definitely a better adjustment for teams across the board.
Looking at the bottom lane, looks like Relapse has done a pretty good job of maintaining that CS difference between the two AD carries. He hasn't really fallen behind just yet to the pressure of the Sivir lane. So that's a really good sign coming in from AMA. No ganks just yet, like you just said. However, Rek'Sai has already finished that Tiamat. So going to be looking to go for those really fast clears and just showing himself in that middle lane, making his presence felt.
Just casual drive-by there from the Rek'Sai.
Yeah.
So the Veer not going to be initiating anytime soon. Good restraint coming in from Niebe. Not going to overextend the boundaries too much. Just going to allow that wave to push in onto Solus until such time a new wave comes in. Will establish a little bit of defensive vision towards their own jungle. So that's a little bit of relief just to make sure that nothing cheeky comes out of Veer here. That will be Solus getting a bit of damage there onto Niebe. Nothing particularly substantial. Will be popping up one of the stacks of his refilling potion. Make that 2. So we'll be exhausting both to make sure that he regenerates just enough. Take note, he has hit level 6 though. But then again, Solus in the meantime has hit level 7. So that's still quite a big of a difference.
Yeah, I mean, that was a really good play coming in from Solus, stopping the initial dive from Niebe as Zhao was already there in the wing looking to follow up on that gank, and that would have definitely been a sure kill onto Solus had he not stopped the initial strike. Zhao going for that counter jungle onto that top side of the map will be able to take away that blue buff, and looks like Nona does need to be careful as They're already engaging right now, and he still doesn't have flash up.
Take note, the ultimate is up, but looks like we will see a risk of that gang coming in from both Zhao and Volcata. Nuna going down quite fast there, and first blood goes to Volcata. Meanwhile, the rest of UPD Liman with their fallen comrades find themselves in a position to, hey, let's go for Dragon in retaliation.
Yeah, so a very clean gank coming in from the top lane. That was actually really good timing. A second too late, Nona would have been able to flash out, and it would have been another failed gank attempt. And looks like it's going to be AMA trying to respond to this Dragon take by pushing this top lane turret. But we do need to keep in mind that in 7.23, turrets do have 300 more HP, making it a lot more difficult to get that first turret early into the game. But AMA, decent amount of work on this top lane, and if they're able to maintain this pressure, the Gnar is going to be a lot more scarier come mid-game, come late game.
Nuna, though, slowly making his way back to base. Take note, though, he has quite a bit to deal with here, as looks like that will be the ultimate. We'll get the two-man knockup onto the members of AMA right there. Goes in onto Volcata as well. So Volcata trying to run his way out of her, gets the jump out, slows down Nuna. No further pursuit from the top lane of UPD Liman.
Yeah, and I mean, he was able to save that turret, but at what cost? That was a ultimate burnt. And now they're going to keep that in mind as they move forward, and we might see another return gank coming in from Zhao. Zhao is doing a lot of work in this top lane. You do see Gnar slowly building his way towards that Black Cleaver, those components being built up. And in that bottom lane, looking again very even so far. Nothing really happening for this UP team.
Meanwhile, teleport being used by Volcata to respond to the wave pushing out towards his top side. Not that much particular significant damage onto turret, though. Still much within his advantage, because that turret is very much vulnerable here for Nuna at this point. His staying power, I'm not sure how long that turret will last within the next few minutes. Take note, Zhao is lingering towards the top side, but looks like we'll be making the recall for the meantime. Let's go ahead and see what proactive move he'll be making next on this map.
Yeah, this turret is about to fall very shortly. Veer is there to try to alleviate some of the pressure in this top side. Now looking for a ping onto that red buff. He's going to possibly look for that invade, but he does need to be careful as the Fizz is ready to respond. And again, it's Veer looking for another gank in the mid lane, but this Fizz is slippery.
Looks like Niebe bites just here. We'll be using Chum the Waters, though, to prevent any further pursuit from Veer here, and will escape under turret quite safely amidst a bit of damage there. That meanwhile, knockup not quite connecting onto Relapse or Ken Frost either. That will be a missed out opportunity from the side of UPD.
Yeah, the Glacial Fissure was this close to landing, and both summoners actually weren't used. None of the summoners were used in that bottom lane. We did see that Yochan and Alto are both sitting on all their summoners. Same thing with Relapse as well. So, a decent trade, I guess. Nothing really happening.
Definitely. Meanwhile, so Zhao will be able to spot out what's up in that brush. They're coming in from both Sols and Veer. Meanwhile, Volcata continuing to get a few hits here and there, getting Nuna at quite a bit of his health. Meanwhile, this turret's so vulnerable. Mega Gnar form will be popped up by Volcata, though. Doesn't connect the stun, but still not really necessary, in which case, as Nuna continually pressured here towards this top side. Pressed for time, in fact, with this turret going down in just a bit.
We do see that Rek'Sai and Jarvan are on the bottom side of the map, so it's going to be both Nona and Falsata left to their own means. Let's see if Falsata will be able to take this turret, get that first turret of the game, and get the ball rolling for this AMA side. Or will Ablation Esports have something to do in response?
Meanwhile, here's Zhao just kind of going into enemy territory here. Will get caught up between Solos as well as Veer. Even if he jumps into the Dragon turret, it's pretty much dead meat. Solo secures the kill, equaling the scoreboard rather, to 1-1.
Yeah, very good clean collapse coming in from the Ablation Esports team. Nice use of that stopwatch coming from Solus. Will prevent a potential kill by Niebe. Niebe did have that ignite available and the electrocute ready to proc.
Ooh. First turret, though, taken by Volcata. Looks like things aren't done just yet. Nuna gonna look for a counter initiate. Actually connects the knockup. Looks like that will be further pursuit from Nuna. Does manage to take him down in vengeance for taking down his turret. You take my turret, I take your life, my friend.
Yeah, good attempt by Nuna trying to get that recovery kill despite losing that turret. But again, a turret is a bigger objective than a kill. And that puts AMA at a 1,000 gold lead 12 minutes into the game.
So meanwhile, Niebe gonna get a bit of damage there, taking advantage of Solus, a little bit lower in terms of mana. Niebe is still quite healthy on both fronts, both in HP and in mana. will just allow this wave to push in onto him. Solus will be making a retreat for the meantime, doesn't want to push the boundaries. Veer is lingering around, just clearing out camps as well. Continuously, meanwhile, towards the spot side, Relapse and Bifrost continue to get pushed out here, but doesn't really affect CS overall for Relapse in particular, of course. But then again, is a little bit up, I'd say, for Yochan and Alto, because take note, Alto is running a Taran's Brave, so that's kind of a combined CS between the Saber as well as the Braum.
Yeah. So with that, we do see, again, the gold lead, 1,000 in favor of UPD Liman. The items are slowly being built up. We do see Nar already finishing his first big item of the game, the Black Cleaver. And that should help quite a bit against Nona in that top lane, constantly applying that pressure and allowing the rest of his team to really just go for those objectives.
Indeed. Let's go ahead and see what's happening here. Looks like... Take note, though, for the top laners, Nuna already has his teleport up, so that does grant him a little bit more pressure if ever a fight does break out across other sides of the map. Meanwhile, Falsada won't be able to get that same response, but then again, his teleport will be up in just a bit as well. So it ultimately comes down to game plans. What will be the next move for either UPD or AMA to try to force things, but let's go ahead and see here. Meanwhile, things are still balanced here between Solus as well as Niebe. Niebe definitely a little bit more kill potential here over the Syndra at this point with access to jump the waters. Will clear out the wave. Meanwhile, Yochan making good work of this turret. Here comes Zhao, though, will prevent that take on the turret. But again, this is somewhat similar to what we saw towards top, where in turret at quite low health.
Yeah, and we do see that Ocean Drake has spawned. So a lot of these eyes are on the Ocean Drake right now. And with that turret going extremely low, it is a potential opportunity for UP Diliman to make a play.
See the Falsada continuing to push in Nona here, extending AMA's top wave all the way towards turret. Will leave Nona to contend for this, but meanwhile Falsada will just be making the retreat. Will make a rotation potentially to get some defensive vision or clear out a jungle camp. Looks like that will be the case for him, so everything's still safe and sound. Take note, though, eyes on the bot lane. Continuously, Yochan and Alto exerting quite the pressure there. It's only a matter of time till turrets start falling from AMA's side, not just for bot lane, even in this mid lane, if you take notice. Nieve's turret will be going down, but looks like that will be the bottom turret take for UP Diliman.
Yeah, first turret, the second turret falling for Ablation Esports, and now their eyes are on this dragon. They do see that teleports are both available for both of these top laners, as well as their ultimates. So we should be expecting a fight to potentially break out very shortly, as pings are going down by this AMA side.
Indeed, pings thrown back in fourth here. Looks like Yochan will be making the retreat for now. Veer and Alto lingering towards the brush, tries to look for an opportunity. Not quite happening, as they will be making a recall. For the meantime, won't be pushing anything. So let's go ahead and see how this will run down. Meanwhile, Relapse and Kenfrost on the offensive towards bot side. That is a heavyweight pushing out towards that bot lane. Looks like lane swap will commence. Jump the waters connecting onto Solus. Exhaust being used here to slow down Niebe, but still that's the Syndra at half health. Niebe, though, not able to get any further pursuit. He has to be careful, a bit lower in terms of mana.
Yeah, but the flash was burnt, and that is definitely Summoner's well spent coming in from Solus, saving his life. But this does create an opportunity for AMA to do something in this middle lane. No exhaust, no flash, and that Fizz Chum the Waters is going to come up a lot sooner than those Summoners are. And this dragon is still up, and we actually do see that it's going to be the Rek'Sai going for that solo dragon right now, as Ablation Esports takes this top turret.
Indeed, looks like they are going to be going on the offense right now. We'll be joined by Veer. Take note, Kenfrost is getting the ping there, though. I don't think he can go in. Will be very scary, too dangerous if he goes in solo to go for the defense, and this will be a successful take for UP Diliman, granting them a bit more pressure towards this top side and onto Rift Herald. Though take note, we are 17 minutes into this game. In just a few, Baron will be up. Looks like Niebe and Solus going to be juking it out. In the meantime, Zhao will be going for the response. Tries to go onto Solus. Niebe gets the kill. Alto will try to respond. Gets the knockup onto Alto. Jump the waters connecting onto Yochan, but not enough to save his teammate, though. Will get out by Nona. Double kill for Veer as UP Diliman comes up on top in that fight. 2 for 1.
Yeah, despite Solus falling, that was a really good collapse coming in from UP Diliman. Great use and awareness of where everyone was, and with that, it should be UP Diliman able to take that mid lane turret and possibly look for that dragon as it's still up. They need to be careful as Nar is in the wing. This Vayne is slowly getting stronger. She does have the static shift already available and looking for that Infinity Edge.
UP Diliman will be trying to go for this dragon. Falsada is within the vicinity though. Of course, it would be hard to try to counter that as a Nar is joined by Relapse and Kenfrost though, getting a bit of damage there onto Nuna. Nuna might get an initiate though, gets a 2-man knockup onto the members of AMA here, but still that will be Relapse getting condemned onto UPD, but still flash away from Kenfrost to safety. Falsada is making the run for it, but UPD Lima not going to chase any further.
Yeah, no kills during that dragon fight, but the dragon did fall to Ablation Esports. And with that, they're going to be looking to reset and make use of the lead that they have so far. Items are being built up across the map, and let's see what happens next.
To go AMA in the meantime just clearing out waves here towards this mid lane. It's a little bit of a balancing act that's happening. You're not wanting any wave to push into them that would result to pressure, allowing much more control for UP Diliman, but that won't be the case for the meantime. If you look at the gold difference, a little leaning, a little bit towards UP Diliman. Nothing particularly significant just yet. It's still pretty much anyone's game, but then again, as this game goes along, Relapse is getting a little bit more painful, has Static Ship, has Berserker's Greaves, leaning towards that second item as he gets that BF sword. So let's go ahead and see what will transpire here.
So let's see what's going to happen. The turrets are still up. A lot of the turrets have fallen, but UP Diliman still holding on to their mid and bottom turret. And I think it's AMA that really needs to look for the proactive plays. They have that Fizz, they have that Rek'Sai. Lots of dive potential right now. And what's interesting to see is that Nona starting to establish his dominance in that bottom lane, in that top laner matchup. And Veer gets caught out. This is what we were talking about, those picks that AMA needed, and that will be the kill onto Veer. Are they going to keep going for it? Looks like they will. Let's see what happens. Solus needs to be careful. It's Niebe doing as much as he can. The ultimate won't be enough to finish him off. Niebe is still in the backline. He's trying to do his best to kill Solus before falling. Niebe does take him down by Nona. Meanwhile, the rest of AMA is doing work. We saw Relapse destroying Veer as well, and let's see what happens. It's going to be AMA coming out on top. That's a 2-for-1 in favor of AMA, and they have the momentum. They're looking for more. They get that kill onto Yo-Chan, and they're going for Nona. That's 4 members still diving. The ultimate will go down onto Nona, but it won't be enough. This turret should fall for AMA.
Yeah, it looks like they will have to make the retreat there. There isn't any wave to supplement this shove towards mid lane, but in the end, they do come up big. In total, that was a 3-for-1 in favor of AMA University, and this does allow them to propel themselves. I wouldn't even say propel necessarily, but it does set the gold at a very equal stance right now. But then again, that's what I've been talking about right there. As this game may go along, it might slowly lead towards AMA University's favor. Let's go ahead and see what happened here, though.
Yeah, so let's break it down. We do see Veer a bit overextended and gets initially picked. And let's take a look at exactly what happens. Yo-Chan, pay attention to Yo-Chan and Relapse. We didn't really get to focus on them. Relapse does a really good job of just maintaining the pressure. Yo-Chan and Alto, they're not really able to do much during that fight. They're forced to run away the entire time. They can't do the DPS. And that just leaves the rest of them to do the work. And unfortunately, the Ornn ultimate missing by Nona. So no possible re-engage from there. And from that, Yo-Chan just extending a bit too far up and gets punished.
Man, oh man, things are looking pretty interesting. Looks like the action is starting to pick up in terms of speed. Looks like that will be an initiate onto Zhao. That's 3 members of UP Diliman collapsing onto him. Falsada tries to save his teammate, but no, Zhao goes down. UPD on the offensive towards top side, though. Looks like that isn't much of a wave that they could work with, though. Falsada just clearing it out like a champ. Meanwhile, Niebe is making a rotation towards top side in case things do get dirty and nasty as far as UP Diliman taking that inner top turret, but it looks like they will be backing away for the meantime, consenting themselves with that kill onto Zhao.
Yeah, that was a really good play. Despite losing that team fight in the mid lane, it's Ablation Esports making the aggressive plays. They do engage onto Falsada. Falsada should fall once the stun procs, but Falsada is kind of tanky. And here comes the re-engage, the collapse, the turnaround coming in from AMA. That's going to be the Vayne doing lots of work onto Yo-Chan. Yo-Chan will immediately fall. It's Niebe and Relapse doing all the damage right now. That's 2 kills. The nice disengage stun coming in from Solus, and that still is a 2-for-1 in favor of AMA. And AMA, they're still putting up a fight, and it's UPD. They need to be careful with those overcommits.
Yeah, definitely. And if you're going to notice, they actually did have a bit of vision there towards the side of AMA, but then again, not enough to spot out the numbers advantage that was making their way towards UPD Liman, towards the top side. And definitely worked out for AMA in the end. UPD Liman, there have been these weird instances where they overextend their boundaries in terms of positioning, allowing AMA to capitalize onto them amidst their own proactivity. So it looks like UPD Liman, though, going to clear out this way towards mid lane, pushing out towards AMA. But Relapse going to make good work of these creeps, though, and still, though, we are going to be hitting a little bit of a slow pace for the meantime, but action is bound to happen within the next seconds to come.
Yeah, and what's interesting to see is that UPD, they've been having problems dealing with this Fizz, with this Rek'Sai, with this Gnar, but there's also the Vayne they need to be concerned about. This Vayne has had a really good time in this team fight, and as the game progresses, this Vayne is just going to have a lot more easier time once he builds up that damage, and I don't think there's that many ways that UPD can deal with all of these threats coming in from the AMA side.
Also, though, slowly, though, we are seeing AMA pulling by the hundreds, not particularly significant, but it is something that they could work with. Meanwhile, Kenfrost has to be careful. Those are a lot of members of UPD Liman hiding in that brush, though AMA smart enough to not overextend their boundaries there. Looks like UPD Liman will be establishing that control ward in the brush. Will get spotted out by AMA, though, so that will be a clear from Zhao as control is being exerted onto this dragon side, as it will be up actually just right now.
Yeah, so we do see the next Ocean Drake is about to spawn. I do think it is AMA who does have control over this dragon, and it's going to be tricky for UPD to really make something happen right now.
Oh yeah, definitely. Meanwhile, though, Relapse, though, going to be heading towards this broadside, can clear out the way, being pushed out here by Nona. Good balance. Great support here coming in from Kenfrost as well. If ever things do get dirty, UPD Liman making a rotation. Looks like they may potentially force out this dragon. Looks like they will establish vision first. Won't be pursuing it just yet. Might be a little bit too risky, though, as members of AMA are very well within the vicinity. Go for the response. Looks like AMA, though. Are they going to go for this dragon? Looks like that will be a hit from Kenfrost. Don't want to push it, though. Yeah, but goes in. Comes in for the flank. Tries to go for Yochan, but that is for members of UPD Liman. That could easily collapse on him. Chump the Water's not quite connecting onto anybody. Here comes Call of the Forge God, though. Will get a knock onto Relapse, though. This is quite the messy fight. Take note of the health bar on Veer. Forced to flash away. Kenfrost, though, will be getting a heal across the board for AMA. That is 1-for-1. Junglers are down from both sides, but UPD Liman falling down one by one. Way too fast. Double kill for Relapse, and that will end in a 4-for-0. No further pursuit onto Nona, though. But yeah, 4-for-1 in favor of, you guessed it, AMA University.
Yeah, and I mean, at that point, it wasn't even Relapse who was in the fight for the majority of the time. It was primarily the Gnar and the Fizz doing work during that team fight. Really good Chum the Waters, forcing UP Liman to stay clumped together against that wall. And it's just Gnar able to get that big ultimate, being able to do lots of damage to that fight. And as a result, it's AMA coming out on top. Let's take a look at exactly what happened. We do see that it's Niebe with the nice flank. Chum the Water forces them close together, and the Orange super far away. Rek'Sai and the Fizz managed to immediately dive Yochan. Nice follow-up by the Gnar as well. And I actually have to commend the Tornado, keeping the UP team completely locked up. And with Yochan gone, with the positioning completely messed up by this team, there's not much that Ablation Esports can do. And it's AMA coming up with the clean kills. Of course, Vayne was there at the very end to just secure the rest of it.
Yeah, so still, let's go ahead and head back into this game right now. Currently 8 and 12 on the scoreboard. We are seeing a heftier build as this game goes on in terms of gold in favor of AMA University, sitting at a 4,000 of a difference right now, but still UPD Liman has room to come back. They just have to watch their positioning when in fights, not really wanting to force in close quarters unless they could make it work for themselves. Let's go ahead and see, though, with that dragon take by AMA, there's definitely going to be a lot more focus, take note, towards this Baron side.
Yeah, so Baron is the next play for both of these teams, but they do need to be careful. They don't have the vision control, Ablation Esports rather, to really contest this Baron right now. And I think it's Ablation Esports that also need to be looking for the picks of their very own. I don't think they can afford to have Ornn split push at this point, because Ornn is just such a primary tool to their engage and their ability to disengage. Having him come to the fight late with the teleport is not really something that Ablation Esports should be doing right now.
For sure, for sure. And overall here, though, looks like they have to be a little bit more careful, UPD Diliman. AMA are kind of clumped together. Meanwhile, Tekno Falsada, while Nuna is towards the bot lane, he's making a move of his own towards the top side. It looks like he is seeing definitely a bit more progression. That wave is going to be meeting the turret in just a little bit. Looks like they will be sending over Niebe to deal with that wave pushing out towards the bot side. Meanwhile, Nuna makes the retreat to contend with the shove coming in from Falsada towards the top side. Falsada won't be pursuing though. UP Diliman will start to establish vision control over this Baron, not wanting to give AMA any form of opportunity to go for the sneaky take on it. We'll just have to see though. It is a lot of precaution being taken by both sides though at this point.
Yeah, it's 4,000 gold lead in favor of AMA, and they're just constantly looking for that Baron bait. The pick potential is very strong coming in from both of these teams, so whoever can get that footing onto Baron can set up the pick and potentially set up a possible game-winning play.
Vision though looks like UPD Diliman will get spotted out there by the slightly offensive vision towards AMA in that brush, which leads to the Baron pit. Falsada dealing with this shove coming in from Nuna. That is a little bit of a hefty wave. Offensive vision, great offensive vision coming in from UPD Diliman will get a greater grasp of the whereabouts of AMA University when lingering towards their own side of the jungle. Looks like Relapse is getting a small hit there onto Altu. That is a tankier Braum though, so nothing particularly happening. It's just a matter of time till fight erupts here. Looks like that might have been an opportunity there. Veer forced to flag and drag out of their teleport coming in. Niebe taking quite a bit of damage there. That gets to be a little bit of a moment of invulnerability. Ken Frost getting a clear out there onto the members of UPD Diliman. This is quite messy here. Shot down there onto Relapse. Niebe is the next to fall, but take note, the rest of UPD Diliman are a little bit lower there. Veer chasing down Ken Frost. Forced to deal with Falsada though, both Nuna as well as Alto. Looks like Alto has to style his way out of there as three members of AMA collapse onto Nuna this time around. Falsada dealing quite a bit of damage there onto Nuna. Will get the shot down onto him, and that ends, wow, still in a 4-4-2 in favor of AMA University's Retaliate.
Yeah, and that was a battle of top laner ultimates right there. If we take a look at the replay, we'll see that it came down to whether the Ornn ult hitting or the Gnar ult hitting. And in the end, it was the Gnar ult that came out on top. The Gnar managed to hit 4 people against the wall, while the Ornn ult actually missed. He wasn't able to get that second proc, and this is going to be AMA now getting that turn in the mid lane and putting the gold lead at already 6,000. Take a look at exactly what happened. We do see the initial pick onto Niebe. Niebe still managed to stay alive by quite a bit. Here's the Ornn ult I'm talking about. The Ornn ult actually misses right there because of the stun by Gnar, and watch Gnar. He gets a 4-man ult and the follow-up tornado, and that just sets the team fight for AMA to win.
Yes, and pay attention to Sauce right there.
The unsung heroes of this fight are the Gnar and Ken Frost, because Ken Frost actually manages to solo kill Veer later on in this fight, while all the attention is on the left side. If you take a look on the right side, Veer actually dies 1v1 to Ken Frost. So on top of having that amazing tornado, he also gets the solo kill, and that's going to be AMA coming out on top.
Man, UPD Diliman, again, even with the key targets falling, I mean, I think this is a long-term effect of Falsada having a better leg up in the earlier phases against Nuna, and it's working beautifully for him. Meanwhile, AMA looking to potentially take this Mountain Drake though. Let's go ahead and see if that will be a potential possibility. Falsada, in the meantime, is continuing to shove out, bringing out some pressure towards top. Looks like UPD Diliman will be giving this Mountain Drake to AMA scot-free. So still 10 and 16 on the scoreboard. Again, the gold lead growing larger and larger and larger towards AMA University.
Yeah, and as this gold lead grows, it's becoming more and more favor of AMA as we approach the late game. The Vayne is starting to look a lot more scarier. He is 4-1-5 right now. Does have the QSS available, so there's not really that many ways to kill the Vayne as of now. You can cleanse the stun from the Syndra, and if you commit too many resources trying to kill the Vayne, the Rek'Sai, Gnar, and Fizz are just going to dive you and kill the rest of it.
And
everyone.
If you're going to look at the members of UPD Diliman, the Syndra, the Sivir, not exactly in the best position as far as stats right now, sitting at a 3-4 and a 1-4 respectively. And that is kind of where UPD is slightly missing out on when we do see these bigger fights happening. And meanwhile, again, like you mentioned, Relapse, absolutely a beast on this vein. Definitely working a little bit better for him. Actually, an item up in comparison to the Sivir, having completed 4 items total already with the Quicksilver Sash as well as an additional bonus. Only 3 items completed for Yochan here. Is struggling to find his footing right now, and that's not exactly the best position you want to be in, especially with Relapse only going to becoming much more powerful, much more scary on this vein within the later parts of this game as we go past the 30-minute mark at this point.
Yeah, so we do see that Bane has picked up the Guardian Angel on top of that QSS, so it's going to be very difficult to really take this Bane out of the fight, and when there's so many other threats, I think it's just really impossible for UP Diliman to just come back at this point. The gold lead is roughly 7,000 right now, and it's just going to rely on super strong picks, but those really haven't been happening right now, so balls in AMA's court.
We'll just have to see, though, UP Diliman trying to shove out what they can. Take note of what's happening towards the bot side, though. Falsada and Nuna having a little bit of a dance. Falsada, however, getting a little bit more of an extend, a little bit more of a reach onto Nuna here. But still, UP Diliman trying to do what they can towards this mid lane. Meanwhile, AMA putting up a great defense in the midst of UPD, trying to look for an opportunity to take a more offensive stance. Meanwhile, Veer lingering towards the side, trying to look for an opportunity himself. AMA, though, great of them kind of making a move towards the bottom side just so that they don't get an initiate from Veer, making a surprise move into a Cataclysm.
The Baron buff is still available, and I think that both teams should still be looking to contest this Baron rather than dancing around the mid lane. Baron's a lot more bigger of an objective to dance around than the mid lane. So, kind of questionable to see UP Diliman just grouping up here. The wards haven't even been cleared out despite there being an opportunity to do so. And it's just AMA just waiting for their moment to strike.
Less so of a game plan, more of uncertainty coming here from UP Diliman. In the midst of everything, though, looks like they will be making a recall for the meantime, as well as just leaving Yochan and Solus just lingering around. Looks like Zhao gonna start out on this Baron, knowing very well that there are missing members on the UP Diliman side across this map here. Teleport will be coming in from Pulsada. Yochan and Solus will try to contend this. Go teleport as well. Gonna be popped up from Runa. This might be a big fight that happens here. Veer, Chum the Waters connecting onto him. That will be the Baron secured by AMA University. Veer, take note, dwindling one by one. Niebe, though, is going for the backline just on Solus' case constantly. Veer will be able to walk away from this, but that will leave the rest of UP Diliman vulnerable to a full collapse coming in from AMA University, and that will be a 4-0. Veer, the only survivor, in which case AMA all 5 and up and ready to finish the game.
Yeah, and at this point, this should be the game for AMA University. Well fought by them, and again, it goes back to UP Diliman. They did a really poor job of securing vision control. They spent the time dancing around mid lane rather than prioritizing the vision, and AMA, they were quick to react. They saw 2 people recall, immediately sprung for that Baron, and it's going to pay off right now as it's AMA knocking on the doors of Ablation Esports. Veer trying to do his best to save the Nexus, but I don't think it's going to be enough, and it's going to be AMA taking the first victory of the game.
Indeed, congratulations, AMA University. Great way to start out the Foundation Week. So, yeah, I mean, hashtag AMA win.
Very impressive play coming in from AMA. Very cohesive and decisive all around by them. And I do have to give props to everyone on the team. They did their parts very well.
True.
Good dives from Niebe, good ultimates coming in from the Nard, good split push. And Ken Frost as well, he did his job. Relapse, all of them did their job very well. And it looks like this young AMA team is really starting to form together. And I'm excited to see how they perform coming into the rest of their games.
I agree with you there. I mean, just outstanding job, but I want to go ahead and touch out on that last replay. I believe we'll be able to get a quick glimpse of that just so that we see how that last fight went down.
Yeah, so let's take a look at exactly what happened. Again, AMA had the Baron buff extremely low, really late teleport by Ornn, despite Ornn getting a pretty nice ultimate. It was just a bit too late. Yochan and Solus, they're a bit too hesitant to go on the aggressive because there's just so much dive pressure. Alto wasn't even able to get in that great of a position during that entire fight. The block actually comes in backwards from Alto, and with that, it's just Niebe diving the backline. Meanwhile, Relapse has great peel from Kenfrost and is able to just do his work and destroy the front line of Ablation Esports. So just all the parts coming together extremely well and culminating to this victory.
And that was so weird because everybody from UPD Liman that wasn't the Cinder, that wasn't the Severe, totally committed to the front line, that they completely neglected Niebe. Just kind of walked towards the Severe. After taking down the Severe, went towards the Cinder, and that was pretty good coordination overall. Really great team fight from AMA University. Great way to start Foundation Day, I gotta say. But still, when we come back, we'll have to find out, will UPD Liman be able to set the score even 1-1, or will this be AMA University exerting their dominance in a 2-0? Let's go ahead and see. But meantime, we're going to be taking a quick break. We are your casters, Arctic at the Sirs fam. With me is Deep. This is the Garena Low Varsity League 2017 Summer Term, powered by Lenovo. Light the sky. We'll be right back in just a few.
Veer gets caught out. This is what we were talking about, those picks that AMA needed, and that will be the kill onto Veer. Are they going to keep going for it? Looks like they will. Let's see what happens. Solus needs to be careful. It's Niebe doing as much as he can. The ultimate won't be enough to finish him off. Niebe is still in the backline. He's trying to do his best to kill Solus before falling. Niebe does take him down by Nona. Meanwhile, the rest of AMA is doing work. We saw Relapse destroying Veer as well, and let's see what happens. It's going to be AMA coming out on top. That's
drag out of their teleport coming in. Niebe taking quite a bit of damage there. That gets to be a little bit of a moment of invulnerability. Kenfrost getting a clear out there onto the members of UPD Liman. This is quite messy here. Shot down there onto Relapse. Niebe is the next to fall, but take note, the rest of UPD Liman are a little bit lower there. Veer chasing down Kenfrost. Forced to deal with false auto though, both Nuna as well as Alto. Looks like Alto has to style his way out of there as three members of AMA collapse onto Nuna this time around. False auto dealing quite a bit of damage there onto Nuna. Will get the shut down onto him, and that ends big fight that happens here. Veer, Chum the Waters connecting onto him. That will be the Baron secured by AMA University. Veer, take note, dwindling one by one. Niebe though is going for the backline just on Solo's case constantly. Veer will be able to walk away from this, but that will leave the rest of UPD Liman vulnerable to a full collapse coming in from AMA University, and that will be a 4-0. Veer the only survivor, in which case AMA all 5 and up. And
Veer trying to do his best to save the Nexus, but I don't think it's going to be enough, and it's going to be AMA taking the first victory of the game.
Indeed, congratulations, AMA University. Great way to start out the Foundation Week. So, yeah.
Not enough Garena shells to buy the latest League of Legends skin? On sale now? Get shells anytime, anywhere with your Globe or Touch mobile number. Go to gamer.com.ph and sign up with your mobile number and enter the verification code you will receive via SMS. Log in and choose the game and pin you want. Check out to purchase the pin with your load or through your postpaid account and receive the pin on your phone instantly. Never miss a sale on your favorite League of Legends skins and champions with Gamer.